What if I told you? Goku doesn't actually need to be faster than you to beat you. Because that's what makes Ultra Instinct so terrifying. It's not simply another transformation that gives Goku more power. It's a completely different way of fighting. Movement without hesitation. And once Goku begins mastering that ability, fighting him becomes a completely different game. To understand why Ultra Instinct is so dangerous, we first have to understand what it actually is. Ultra Instinct isn't simply a technique designed to make someone stronger. It's a state where the body can react instinctively to danger without relying entirely on conscious thought. And Whis demonstrates this better than almost anyone. When Whis fights, there is almost no wasted movement. He doesn't need to aggressively overpower his opponent. He doesn't panic. He doesn't hesitate. He simply moves. That's the lesson Goku spends years trying to understand, because Goku has always been an incredibly instinctive fighter, but Ultra Instinct takes that instinct to another level. Imagine throwing a punch at someone. Normally, that person has to process what you're doing, but the closer Goku gets to true Ultra Instinct, the less he needs to consciously make that decision. His body simply responds. And that's why saying, Ultra Instinct just makes Goku faster doesn't really explain what makes it special. It's about efficiency. Look closely at Goku's movement when Ultra Instinct takes over. He doesn't always make huge movements. Sometimes, he barely moves at all. A normal fighter might dodge by jumping backward. Goku might only move his head. An opponent swings. Goku doesn't block it. He doesn't counter immediately. He simply isn't there anymore. And this creates something incredibly dangerous. The opponent can be stronger, they can be faster, they can have more raw power, but if their attacks aren't connecting, none of that matters. That's one of the most frightening things about fighting someone who has mastered this kind of movement. You aren't just fighting their strength, you're fighting someone who is constantly trying to remove your opportunities to hit them, and then they counter. But here's where things get interesting, because Ultra Instinct isn't some magical ability that makes Goku unbeatable. In fact, Goku's biggest problem with Ultra Instinct has always been one simple question. Can his body keep up with the state he's trying to reach? During the Tournament of Power, Goku's body wasn't ready to maintain Ultra Instinct indefinitely. The strain was enormous, and the longer the battle continued, the harder it became to sustain. This is important, because Ultra Instinct isn't simply about unlocking a stronger form. Goku has to learn how to use it, and that difference is massive. Anyone can become more powerful, but learning how to fight differently, that's an entirely different challenge. And that's exactly what makes Goku's journey with Ultra Instinct so interesting. The first time we see it, Goku isn't in complete control. His body reaches a state that his mind can't fully understand yet. He can move differently, he can react differently, but he can't simply activate it and fight perfectly whenever he wants. Then comes the completed form, the silver hair, the overwhelming aura, the version of Ultra Instinct that pushed Goku to an entirely different level. But even then, Goku's journey wasn't finished, because the deeper lesson of Ultra Instinct isn't become this transformation, it's learn the technique, learn the movement, make it part of the way you fight. And that's where Ultra Instinct becomes much more interesting than just another transformation. Think about Goku's entire story from the very beginning. Goku has always been obsessed with fighting, not because he wants to rule the universe, not because he wants to prove that he's better than everyone else. He fights because he wants to understand how far he can go. Every opponent teaches him something, every defeat gives him something to improve, every battle changes the way he fights, and that's exactly why Ultra Instinct fits him so well. Because the ultimate lesson isn't about having the biggest attack, it's about removing hesitation, removing unnecessary movement, removing the things that stop a fighter from reaching their full potential. And perhaps that's the most Goku thing about Ultra Instinct. He isn't simply trying to become stronger, he's trying to become a better fighter. So imagine you're actually fighting Ultra Instinct Goku. You throw your fastest attack, he dodges. You change your timing, he adapts. You increase your power, he finds another opening. And every time you think you finally caught him, he's already moved. That's what makes Ultra Instinct dangerous. It's not just that Goku can hit harder, it's that the entire rhythm of the fight begins working against you. You attack, he avoids it, you chase him, he creates an opening, you try to overwhelm him, he waits for the mistake. And eventually, you realize you're not fighting Goku on your terms anymore, you're fighting him on his. And that's why I think Ultra Instinct is more dangerous than people give it credit for. Not because it's automatically unbeatable, not because Goku can never be touched, and not simply because it gives him ridiculous power. It's dangerous because it represents something much deeper, the ability to fight without hesitation, to react without fear, to move without wasting energy, and to turn instinct itself into a weapon. Goku spent his entire life searching for the next level, and Ultra Instinct may be the first time where the next level isn't simply about becoming stronger, it's about becoming better. So, does Ultra Instinct make Goku unbeatable? No, but does it make him one of the most terrifying fighters in Dragon Ball? Absolutely, because when Goku stops thinking, when his body stops hesitating, and when every movement becomes instinctive, that's when you realize something. You aren't fighting a warrior who's trying to predict your next move. You're fighting a warrior whose body is already moving. And that is what makes Ultra Instinct so dangerous. But now I want to know, if Goku completely mastered Ultra Instinct, who in Dragon Ball could actually beat him? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more Dragon Ball analysis, debates, and stories.